Good evening. I'd like to welcome all of our guests, Rotarians, and especially our Paul Harris recipients. That's the easiest applause I think I've ever had, but that's okay. We'll go with that. That might be the only. Thank you. So my name's Louisa Horn, and I am a member of the Rotary Club of Halifax Harbour, and I'm going to serve as your MC for the evening. You may see in your notes that I am not, in fact, Ashley Butt, whose name is there. Ashley was intended to be MC, but you know what has entered her household. That which shall not be named. And not with herself, but in her household. And so, as it has for so many other people, she's doing the wise thing and staying home for now. So, I'll be sharing the podium with a few others of my club mates, but it's my job to try and keep things on track, and I will do my best to do that. As we do at the beginning of such events, as we gather, it's always important to be reminded that in Nova Scotia, we're situated on treaty land. Treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and has been home to a variety of peoples over the millennia. Today, this area has been home to many First Nations, the Mi'kmaq, the Maliseet, the Passamaquoddy people. And as a community of Rotarians, we have a responsibility for the stewardship of this land on which we live and work. And today, as we do on many occasions, we acknowledge the historic First Nations people who were the treaty signatories of the territory on which we have the privilege to meet. Now, from time to time, our club honors leaders in our community with a Paul Harris Fellow Award. And last year, because of you-know-what, we were confined to doing that event on Zoom. And while that was a wonderful evening and really was quite remarkable to do such a thing in a virtual environment, it's really wonderful to have the opportunity to be with so many smiling faces that aren't all covered up as we honor our 5 leaders this evening. So a few little housekeeping things that are always so important that I'll tell you a little bit about. And to let you know, of course, that we are streaming this event. So for those who are here, washrooms, not the people that are streaming, you're on your own, figure it out. But for those that are here, we want to let you know that obviously those can be found through the lobby, walking to the right down close to the main elevators. You may also have noticed, as I am noticing right now, that there is in fact a photographer in the room. It's a professional photographer, which you can tell because he's got all the big gear stuff that you can't identify. So he's definitely a professional, Tim Richard. And Tim has volunteered his time this evening to capture some candid shots, and he's also going to be doing formal photographs at the end of the ceremony. So those who are honored tonight, we ask that you stay, and Tim will be doing his magic to make sure that we have beautiful photographs of the honorees and their nominators, and also, of course, for the Burrell family. So we ask you to remain at the end of the program. So I have a little bit to tell you about Rotary. Lots of people in the room know this, but for those that don't, Rotary has a long and proud history, 117 plus years, and the founder was a guy named, no surprise, Paul Harris. He was a lawyer in Chicago who founded the organization in 1905 so that people from diverse backgrounds could come together in a social and a networking kind of way to develop meaningful and lifelong friendships. And over time, Rotary's reach grew around the world very quickly. First international one was in Winnipeg, as a matter of fact, but it grew around the world and extended to have a major focus on humanitarian service. And so we have a long track record of addressing challenges in communities close to home and around the world. And from the earliest days, Paul Harris said that whatever Rotary may mean to us, to the world, it will be known by the results it achieves. And so we're very proud that today we have a global network of almost 50,000 clubs with about 1.3 million people, members, neighbors, friends, leaders, problem solvers, others who participate and who see that this world is one where we can unite to take action to create lasting change around the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. So Rotary members believe that we have a shared responsibility to take action on world's problems, the most persistent problems. And for more than a century, we've bridged cultures and connected continents as we've championed peace, fought illiteracy and poverty, helped people gain access to clean water and sanitation, and have fought diseases. And our newest focus, which we're also quite delighted about, is to protect our planet and its environment and resources. Now, Rotary's International Signature Project, which you may know about, has been around the eradication of polio. We started that in 1979, and we're still at it. We're getting closer all the time, but we vaccinated about 6 million children in the Philippines at that time. And today, Afghanistan and Pakistan are the only remaining countries where polio remains endemic. So that's quite something, because I think with the ages of people in this room, I remember growing up, you knew people who had polio. We don't now. We don't now in the same way. A little bit about our club, the Rotary Club of Halifax Harbour. It's actually a new club, but it's actually the oldest club in our district. And that's because we were born out of a merger between the Rotary Clubs of Halifax, the oldest club in the district, and Halifax Harbourside. And that happened last year in 2021. Together, we represent more than 135 years of service to this community and to communities around the world. And our future possibilities are endless. We have 73 members representing a variety of cultures and backgrounds, people coming from many different walks of life, many generations, lots of different ages, from 20-something to 90-something in there. We're very active in our community, particularly in the North End. We've always had a strong focus there. And we support a variety of community programs, including Joseph Howe School, at the elementary school food programs, where we serve some 5,000 breakfasts annually. And we've recently added a sandwich lunch program, which has been needed this year. We also work with Central Spryfield Elementary School as well. In the pre-COVID days, we served supper at Souls Harbour Mission every month, and that resulted in about 1,000 meals being served each year. But in this time, when we can't go there to serve dinner, we've switched gears like everybody else. We pivoted, and now every month 10 people make over 250 sandwiches for their bagged lunch program. So like so many organizations, we pivoted to continue to do our work there. We also are host of a very popular Mother's Day brunch, now in its 31st year, and going virtual again this year. We're still there, May the 8th, but it'll be virtual again. Hopefully next year maybe we'll see everybody together again. And we also are the host of the wildly successful Rib Fest on the waterfront, which hopefully many of you know. It annually clocks thousands of volunteer hours and welcomes up to about 85,000 guests and raises more than $100,000, much of which is invested back into our community. And this year, we're back in person. Yay. But we have a new location. With all the construction along the waterfront, you may have noticed that some things need to move. And so we're going to be on the Dartmouth side this year. So you get to take a cruise, get on the ferry, go across to the Dartmouth side, to the Alderney Landing. So watch for news of how to make your July long weekend a blast. So there's several days. You can go each day. People come day after day, so they can try them all. In addition, we support a number of international projects from the funds raised through these events, including some that you will hear about a little more later this evening. Now I'd like to take a moment and run through what the program will involve tonight. I'm going to be asking Jillian Gibson, our District Foundation Chair, to come forward to provide you with an overview of the foundation and background on the Paul Harris Award and what went into our selection criteria. We'll also recognize current Paul Harris Fellows in the room and our own members and community leaders who are with us tonight that have earned that recognition. And then we'll introduce our honorees for the year. Now we have a special thing tonight to do as well, a very special element to add to the program tonight that will allow us to say thank you to the family of Brian Burnell. Brian was a long-standing member of this club who unfortunately passed away in September of last year. Brian was a member of the Halifax Club who's left a very generous gift to the Rotary International Foundation in his estate. And we are very fortunate and grateful tonight to have with us Brian's wife, Madge Burnell, herself Paul Harris Fellow, and their son Paul and his wife Kathy. And I'd like to ask Terry Pond, one of our club members who knew Brian very well, to come forward to say a few words, and then we will ask the Burnell family to join us for a presentation to honor this outstanding gift. Terry.
Thank you, Louisa. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're going to break down the special presentation into two parts. I felt that I needed assistance of Vanna, who joins me at all my celebrations, ticket draws, and other events. So welcome, Heather. Tonight I have the privilege of speaking about my friend and fellow Rotarian, Brian Leonard Burnell. Brian joined the club way back in 1977. Such a concept some people can't even see. He totaled 55 years of service under the classification of actuary. I knew Brian for about 2 decades and can attest that he was an active Rotarian with the Rotary Clubs of Halifax and recently Halifax Harbour. I was going to introduce Madge, her son Paul, and Paul's wife Kathy, but Louisa did it for me. Thank you. But welcome from my heart. Thank you for being here. Brian and Madge, their other son Mark and his wife Tracy live in Calgary and just weren't able to get here for this evening. I hope they're not stuck in Toronto. At any rate, thank you all for joining us tonight. Brian's bio tells me that he was born in 1933 in London, England. 35 in London, England, where he grew up and graduated university. In 1959, at 24, Brian took his first job in London in the offices of Mercantile General Reinsurance Company. Yep, never heard of it. There you go. Then he transferred to the company's Canadian offices in Toronto. This led him to the chief actuary appointment with Maritime Life in Halifax in 1962, where he met his wife, Halifax. Madge, I don't know if you remember that day. I think a choir was involved at the church. Not that night? But apparently it was just 2 weeks after he moved to Halifax, so it was a good move. They were married 3 years later, and Brian was a devoted husband. I have it right here. It can't be wrong. Anyway, he remained a devoted husband for the next 57 years.
That part was right.
Yeah. Could you keep track, please?
I think you're just like so far. You're out there.
Fake news. Rotarian Brian Burnell had a quiet, pleasing personality. As the past president in 1996, Brian was asked to write an open letter for the club project, the 50th anniversary of Paul Harris's death. This was the club's way of to remember and celebrate the founder, Paul Harris, in the 84th year of the club's history. The project recorded relevant memories from a number of different past presidents, current governors, district governors, and members of the club who had held higher offices outside the club, in Rotary in the district. The project was titled Reflections, 1913 to 1997. I'd show you a book, but I forgot it. Which afterwards a copy was given to all new members who joined the club. Brian wrote about working in his very first year as a Rotarian on the club's book format, pocket book format of the membership roster. Now this was a cute little thing with people's picture and a cute write-up on the profile of every member in the club. And at that time there were 110. So it was a little book, that thick. He then wrote about his experiences with the Easter Seals program, the Ultimate Mom's Day Brunch, which you heard the results of what happened from the early days. It's still running. Annual Vacation Draw fundraiser. He held a number of appointments, but what he was most proud of is his significant accomplishment. He was a senior club member in 2004. He was a newsletter editor, and he was the club historian. I later learned that he had also been the club treasurer, secretary, president-elect in succession prior to taking on the mantle of president in 1984-85. Brian was a seasoned Rotarian with extensive knowledge of the club activities. He had a willingness to help others and was a frequent fellowship participant with his wife, Madge. He was my best example to others of a true Rotarian. Now I'd like to call Madge forward. Yeah, come on. Okay, Paul. You have your own photographer, I see. Okay, I need you on this side, but that's okay. Just take your time. There's no rush. You're not going anywhere, are you? Okay. I want to explain that the award is not just for Madge. This is Brian and Madge's recognition award from the foundation. And she's going to receive this major foundation award, recognition award level 2, with the associated, it says lapel pins, on behalf of both herself and her husband Brian as major contributors to the Rotary Foundation. And now I want to say congratulations to them, but I'd like the room to join me. Congratulations. I wish I had a flashlight and I could illuminate this for you so you could see it better, but it's 2 peace doves. And, oh, yeah, there it goes. See. And on the side it said, the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. Get around to the other side. Brian Brunel and Madge Brunel. So this is what the second level award plaque looks like. It's not really a plaque, it will hang on the wall, but it is a very nice. Would you like to touch it? Yeah. Exercise every day. Okay, so that's. I'll give you a big. Now you probably won't be able to see it, but the shape of it. I refer to it as a baseball diamond shape, as opposed to the Paul Harris rounded pin. My pin's up here someplace. And this is the distinction of a major contributor. You move from this type of pin to this one, okay? And then there's a number of encrusted diamonds that get more and more until it changes shape again at another level that I don't ever believe I will see. But they did refer to the $1 Million Club. So this one is, let me check and see. No, it's not marked. This one is yours. Okay. giving you this one because this one is Paul's. Oh, not Paul's.
I was gonna say,
Brian, but Paul needs, someone needs to wear it for Paul, for Brian. Paul, Brian. But I have to show you, this one is why I gave you this, because I think it's a ladies' one. It looks like it, yeah. And this one is actually got a pin on it, okay? So you can wear whichever you want. You have a choice. So, congratulations on your recognition awards for a wonderful contribution to the foundation and helping keep peace in all parts of the world as it moves forward to Rotary projects around the world. Thank you. I didn't take my glasses
Madge, I'll
off.
ask you to be kind with that supervisor meeting.
Thanks, Terry. I think you got a couple of things right. I'm sure. I wasn't keeping track of the bits that were right. There were some bits that weren't. Yes. So you're going to learn a little bit more about our foundation, and you're going to learn about it from one of our district leaders. We have a few district leaders in the room. We're very delighted that we have Ann Devine with us tonight. Ann is the area governor for the Halifax area of our district. Our district for Rotary includes Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, and we have a little piece of France with Saint-Pierre-Miquelon. So we have quite a large district. And as of next year, we're redistricting a bit, and New Brunswick will be joining our fold. But for now, our district has been the three provinces plus Saint-Pierre for a while, and we have a number of area governors. We have a district governor. We have at least one or two past district governors in the room, and then we have Ann, who's our local area governor. So we're very happy to have her. And we have the district governor who will be serving that new district in 2 years' time. Not next year, not the year after, but the one after that. And that's Jillian Gibson, who you're going to hear from in a moment. And Jillian is also the Global Foundation Chair for the district right now. And so I'm going to ask Jillian to come forward and tell us a little bit about the foundation.
Thank you, Louisa, and good evening, everyone. It really is a pleasure to be here. Special presentation that we've just had. Thank you. So as your District Rotary Foundation Chair, it is my duty to be here and represent our District Governor, Alex Twells, who unfortunately cannot be with us this evening. And I want to spend a few minutes to shine a light on the Rotary Foundation and the great work that it helps Rotarians do across the globe, and give you some examples of the difference that we're making. Simply put, the Rotary Foundation is the engine that transforms donations into service projects that change lives. And we do this both close to home and around the world. Since its inception over a century ago, more than $4 billion, with a B, dollars has been donated to causes around the globe. Last year alone, the Rotary Foundation put $333 million into the hands of service projects. And of that, 29 million of it was directly for, am I allowed to say it, Louisa, COVID relief? I'm sorry, I didn't follow your rule. The Rotary Foundation is there for us in three ways. The first one Louisa mentioned is in leading the charge in the eradication of polio. The second is in promoting peace. As a humanitarian organization, peace is a cornerstone in our mission. And we believe, as I'm sure you all do, that when people work to create peace in their communities, that change can have a global effect. And the third way that the Rotary Foundation is there for us is through administering grants that, for projects that are conducted by Rotarians around the world. And Rotary clubs right here in Nova Scotia have received funding from the Rotary Foundation to support some of our projects. More students at Joseph Howe School in the North End are now able to have a nutritious lunch because of the Rotary Foundation. A student from Venezuela has received a scholarship to attend a local university because of the Rotary Foundation. A village in Ghana now has clean water from a newly installed pump because of the Rotary Foundation. A young woman from East Hants County has traveled to Thailand to receive a certificate in peace and conflict resolution because of the Rotary Foundation. And here's an example of an effort that's happening right this very minute. The Rotary Foundation has a special fund for disaster response efforts. When we heard the devastating news of the war in Ukraine, we quickly jumped into action to raise money in support of Rotary clubs in the neighboring countries to Ukraine. Rotarians in Atlantic Canada launched a fundraiser, tapping into the Rotary Foundation's Disaster Response Fund. We did this in early March, and we set a goal for $25,000. Well, today, that now stands at $190 in that fund, just from Atlantic Canada. What'd I say? I'll say, rewind that, $190,000. And that money is already in the hands of Rotarians in Poland, in Moldova, and other countries, and it's being used to provide immediate relief, food, clothing, shelter to the millions of Ukrainians fleeing their country. And when those waves of Ukrainians arrive in different parts of the world, like here in Nova Scotia, we may also apply for funding to assist with our efforts from that same fund. As you can see, I get a little excited, can't even speak my numbers, when I talk about the impact of the Rotary Foundation. Could be here all night, my husband knows that. I invite you to read more, though, about it in your program and on the table cards, or if you're interested, on the Rotary website. But now to this evening's celebration. The Rotary Foundation recognizes people who give tangible and significant assistance towards the ideals of service. Some demonstrate this assistance with charitable gifts to the Rotary Foundation. Those who donate $1,000 or more to the Rotary Foundation are given this special recognition. Rotary clubs also make a donation to honor leaders in the community for their outstanding contribution and service that demonstrate the highest ideals of Rotary, that of placing service above self. So I'd like to begin the ceremonial part of this evening by recognizing two of our guests we have, I believe, that are here this evening, one of the two, sorry, that were recipients of a Paul Harris Fellow at our virtual awards ceremony last year. We are delighted to have with us Dr. Colin Dodds, and I would like to ask him to stand and be recognized. I have the pleasure of working with Dr. Dodds at St. Mary's University, and he wears that around his neck every day, don't you? Yeah. Looks great. So last year we did honor 5 community members as well, and it's wonderful that you're able to join us in person this evening, Dr. Dodds. The Rotary Club of Halifax Harbour has a total of 34 members who have received this recognition for their outstanding support. Since this time last year, 2 individuals have received this recognition for the first time, Tripta Davishon and Luke McDonald. I don't think they're here this evening. They are joining the following individuals who have received additional Paul Harris recognition for their ongoing donations this year over and above the $1,000 level. And I would invite them to stand as their name is called to be recognized if they're here with us this evening. Valerie Bobick, Glenn Bowie, Alex Handyside, Sally Holden, Chris Hornberger, Louisa Horn, Kathleen Houlihan, Adrian Malloy, Clark Painter, Scott Peacock, Joelle Perkins, Jerry Pierce, Terry Pond, Paul Radford, Robert Reed, Stella Roy, and myself and my husband, Mike Gibson, proudly join this group as well. Thank you all for your outstanding support. And now to the very special community leaders that we are honoring tonight. In the fall, we invited Rotarians to consider deserving individuals to nominate for this highest honor a club can bestow on an individual. Solving real problems takes real commitment and vision. We looked for people who have used their passion, their energy, their intelligence to take action and create lasting change. I'm sure you'll agree once you hear about our nominees, they are an exemplary group of change makers. I will now call on each nominator to introduce the community leader nominee. And once the presentation has taken place, each nominee will have an opportunity to respond, should they wish. And to begin, I'd like to call on past President Valerie Bobick and Dr. Margaret Casey to come forward.
Good evening, everyone. The words selfless dedication to community are often regarded as hyperbole, but in the case of Dr. Margaret Starr MacDonald Casey, that phrase is a perfect summation of her life's work within our community. Born in Toronto, I can't believe she's not Nova Scotian. Dr. Casey, who lived in Halifax as a child during the Second World War, infant child, came back to Halifax in 1963 to attend Dalhousie Medical School, one of only 5 women in a class of 60. Medicine was a family business for Margaret. Her dad and her grandfather were both physicians. After graduation, she spent several years in general practice, had the good fortune to marry into the Casey family, Dr. Tom Casey, in September of 1968. She was a child bride, and began her family. In 1972, to the very great fortune of Halifax, she encountered the North End Community Health Association Clinic, and the face of healthcare in that community was changed forever. Much has been written over the years about Dr. Casey and her role in the growth and development of the North End Clinic, her work as the Director of Admissions for Dalhousie University Faculty of Medicine, her volunteer work not only in Nova Scotia but around the world, and most importantly, her care for and connection with her patients. Yet there is so much more that we can say about this incredible woman. Compassionate and caring, full of empathy, Dr. Casey is the type of doctor everyone would want as their own. Patience is a hallmark of her demeanor. She is approachable and warm, friendly, and probably the calmest person I have ever met in my life. Her vision, her optimistic focus, her strength of character, and her ability to leverage her network all stand as a testament to her enduring success. Her belief in the impact of social circumstances and cultural diversity on health care made her and the North End Clinic a trailblazer in the delivery of patient-centered care. Long before they became a focus, Dr. Casey believed in what we now refer to as the social determinants of health, the need for social justice and the impact on life of economic inequity and racism. Dr. Casey remains incredibly humble despite numerous awards and condemnation. No. Yeah, lots of awards. Yeah, lots of awards. Her life and her leadership have had an amazing impact on the lives of thousands of people in our community. She gives freely of her time and talent and her treasure, and is always available for advice and wise counsel. Sharing freely of her education and experience, Margaret Casey has positively impacted healthcare in our community, and we are much the richer and healthier for that. Pardon me. The Paul Harris Fellowship Award is one of the highest honors Rotary can bestow upon a person. Recipients are Rotarians and community professionals, and the award is bestowed in recognition of their outstanding contribution and work in exemplifying the highest ideal of Rotary, service above self. There can be no doubt that Dr. Margaret Casey is a personification of service above self, and she has dedicated her life to the service of others. Please join me in congratulating this incredible woman, a physician and my friend, Dr. Margaret Starr Casey, as she accepts a Paul Harris Fellowship Award.
Dr. Casey, it's my pleasure to bestow upon you 3 emblems of the Paul Harris Fellowship, a certificate, a pin, and the banner.
Thank you so much. And I'm really actually very overwhelmed by this. Valerie's words are really Valerie. It's a huge honor for me, and I can't really properly express how proud is not the right word, but how terribly, terribly moved I am to receive this award. I've been aware of the work of the Rotary Club, and I have been, of course, reading about Paul Harris, and it's a huge honor to be receiving this award. I just want to say that throughout my career, it's been my association with remarkable colleagues and with community people that have made the impact on me. I can't really begin to tell you how important the interaction with the people in the North End of Halifax has been through the North End Health Centre. And I've learned a great deal from them and from the colleagues with whom I worked for a number of years, for many years. So thank you very, very much. I'm so grateful, and as I said earlier, really quite overwhelmed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Casey. I'd now like to invite Rotarian Jane Spur to come forward with our second nominee, Marianne Crowley.
Thanks very much, Jillian, and good evening, everyone. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure for me to introduce you to Marianne Crowley this evening. In her day job, Marianne Crowley is the owner of Real Time Realty Incorporated, and in her volunteer life, she has been an award-winning Special Olympics figure skating coach for more than 36 years. Her goal since 1985, when she first coached at an international event, has been to get local athletes with intellectual disabilities readied for national and international competition. Her volunteer service with the organization, the Special Olympics organization, also includes sitting on their board of directors. since 2001, and the board of directors has described Mary Ann's service this way. She's a trailblazer, both provincially and nationally, in the sport of figure skating as the first coach from Canada to take figure skating to the World Games. Her coaching career is legendary, with her athletes reaching World Games and top of the podium virtually every time. Mary Ann never loses focus on our athletes. One of her success stories is Scott Denya's, a 2019 Canada Games silver medalist, age 13. And this is what Scott had to say about his experience with Mary Ann. The Special Olympics program gave me the opportunity to learn at my own pace and understand how to overcome challenges. I now believe in myself and feel like I belong to a team. I trust that I can go to the next level without hesitation because I have the best coaches and support from my community and team. Another of Mary Ann's athletes described her as the perfect role model and had this to say: Mary Ann Crowley, my Special Olympics coach. I started skating when I was 5 years old because my dad was a figure skater and he was young. In 2017, I was struggling with ADHD and autism, which made it difficult for me to skate and stay focused. This was when I joined the Special Olympics and learned to skate at my best and not worry about what I couldn't do. I felt very comfortable with Mary Ann because she knew how to coach me so that I understood, and it helped me to reach my goals. On January 4th, 2013, Mary Ann was recognized as a CTV Maritimer of the Week, and they had this to say at that time: she watches every move the skaters make on the ice. She knows what they can do and when they are ready for the new challenge. The skaters do fall sometimes, but Crowley helps to give them the confidence to get back up. She says coaching special athletes is a reward on its own. Sherry Martin was one of the first protégés and one of 2 figure skaters to go to the Special Olympics held in the United States in 1985. And she said, she's a very kind, sweet person. In addition to being a business owner and award-winning coach, Mary Ann has served the city of Halifax as alderman for Ward 11 from 1991 to 1996. Mary Ann is a compassionate, kind, and giving individual who exemplifies the Rotary International values of service above self. It is indeed my honor and privilege and pleasure to present Mary Ann Crowley for the highest club honor awarded by the Rotary Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in acknowledging Mary Ann Crowley.
Again, I'll let you do it yourself. Just wonderful, wonderful. There we go.
Thank you so much. Wow. Special thank you to the Rotary Club of Halifax Harbour for bestowing upon me this most prestigious award. To Chris Hornberger, thank you for your nomination. I am humbled and honored. Congratulations to my fellow award winners. If I may take a few minutes to share this most amazing journey of my life with Special Olympics, which is still going on to this day. Year 1984. Call with unusual requests from Sport Nova Scotia. This is Maria Steedman, Sport Nova Scotia. I have been given your name and would like to know if you would be interested in coaching a figure skater for the Special Olympics International Games in Salt Lake City, Utah, next year. I told her I had no Olympic medals and was just a local coach. She said, your name was put forward. I had no athlete. How was this going to happen? Turned to my husband, Paul, who was in the room, and told him about this unusual request. And his response was, why not? You've coached all ages. You can do it. A few weeks later, scene, Centennial Arena, skater, Sherry Martin, and I looking at each other in awe at the unbelievable challenge that lay ahead. Sherry had no formal training and never competed. Wow. Sherry's determination and enthusiasm drove us back to the rink almost every day. Intensive training, new skates, complete makeover, and in 1 year, unheard of. In 1985, Sherry Martin is standing in the biggest arena we had ever seen, was about to put on the performance of her life in Salt Palace Arena, Salt Lake City, Utah. Sherry's performance was so moving that she was interviewed by Jojo Starbuck on Good Morning America. Sherry had succeeded and proven anything is possible. 1 year. Marlene McDonnell from Bathurst, New Brunswick was appointed to me, and who would join us on this unbelievable journey, and who won a gold medal at our very first entry ever. This was Canada's first 2 entries for figure skating, opening the door for future figure skaters. Experience of a lifetime for Sherry and Marlene. They had climbed the mountain to the top and represented Canada with great pride. Upon return home, the late Betty Fleming, who was responsible for putting my name forward, had a dream to start a program for the intellectually disabled. She founded the skating program with Special Olympics Halifax. Her belief in me allowed me the privilege and honor of coaching hundreds of skaters at local, provincial, national, and international levels. The journey of a lifetime with many treasured memories. The stories are endless. I have been privileged and honored to have coached so many. I have gained so much love and friendship from all the Special Olympians I have met over the past 38 years. In closing, I would like to acknowledge Dr. Mary Bluchard, Vice President of Special Olympics in Nova Scotia, and Claire Fougere, mother of Robert Fougere, 3-time gold medalist at the International Winter Games in Austria, 2017, for celebrating this evening with me. To Special Olympics Nova Scotia and Special Olympics Canada, thank you for the opportunity. In closing, special thank you to the Rotary Club of Halifax Harbour. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. I don't know if I can get any more cold shivers. It's wonderful. Thank you, Marianne. Mr. Hart. I would now like to invite past President Adrienne Malloy to come forward with our third nominee, Sharon Davis Murdoch.
Thank you, and good evening. Sharon Davis Murdoch has been a leading advocate for diversity and inclusion for the African Nova Scotia community for most of her adult life. Whether that has been in her volunteer leadership positions or professionally, Sharon has been a relentless and insistent voice for better health for Black Nova Scotians through community mobilization, program development, and research to help bring about early health intervention and ultimately better health outcomes among African Nova Scotians. From the beginning, Sharon has been a leading force behind an organization that she helped to found in 2000. With a group of women friends, she helped form the Black Women's Health Network. They gathered information and documentation regarding health inequities faced by the Black community, and pushed to have the perceptions and voices of Black Nova Scotians recognized. Prior to this time, little or no information existed regarding the delivery of health care services in Black communities, or how that differs from delivery of health care in other communities. In 2002, the network transitioned into a new organization, the Health Association of African Canadians. From the beginning, Sharon has been a key part of the expansion of that organization and its partnerships across our province and beyond, keeping the issues facing generational Black communities and indeed immigrant communities from Africa, the Caribbean, and South America on the radar of government and the general public. Sharon also serves as secretary of the Dartmouth General Hospital Foundation Board, and she was instrumental in establishing the foundation's healthcare scholarship for African Nova Scotians. These awards recognize one student from each of the 6 Dartmouth high schools with a $2,000 award. The hope is that it will inspire a more diverse workforce, one that is culturally representative of the community it serves. Sharon's professional career mirrored her volunteer passions. As a senior public servant for more than 20 years, Sharon was a trailblazer. She led the health department's initiative, Diversity and Social Inclusion in Primary Health Care. This initiative, a first in our country, produced the first guidelines for culturally competent primary health care in Canada. Sharon was recently awarded the Order of Canada and is also the recipient of the Premier's Award of Excellence for this work, the highest honor in Nova Scotia, the Nova Scotia Civil Service. In 2018, she was also awarded the Inspiration Award by Dalhousie School of Public Administration. This is an honor given to individuals who demonstrate a superior commitment to mentoring, coaching, and inspiring students and public servants. Awarding a Paul Harris Fellow to Sharon Davis Murdoch is a decision to recognize outstanding dedication and success that is truly making a difference in our community. Please join me in congratulating Sharon.
It's hard not to shake and hug. I want to do all of that.
Definitely. Well, I did have to have some thoughts on paper because I could go on for a long time, but I don't think you all would really want me to do that. So I'm going to try to keep on task here. But I do want to say thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I want to say to all of you that this is an amazing honor. I cherish this award, and I'm deeply honored to receive it. The Paul Harris Award. I was so moved that I was even considered for this. Like many people, I have, as I have put it, fire in my belly for change. Inequities should not be left to grow endlessly, hindering generations and multiplying the suffering of populations. I know the people gathered here understand that. Rotarians and my fellow award recipients, you share my energy for asking tough questions and thinking about the solutions before you ask. You also understand and share the duty to advocate, the humanity to see what is in front of you, the upstream causes of injustice, and the restlessness to just do something. My years as a public servant did not end with official retirement. My family can attest to that. The years for meaningful change are just beginning for me. With their unflinching support, I keep at it. I work with others, colleagues, organizations, and governments to build health equity, cultural competence in the health system, and culturally specific approaches to reach the most marginalized, and with them, make better health for all a new fact of life in Nova Scotia. I do know that many people work all their lives for change, but few are as privileged as I am in receiving such high recognition for their efforts. This award is a testament to Rotarians who do what others merely think about, take action to create lasting change. It is a mandate and purpose I so admire, and I lift you all up as I receive this generous honor. Thank you so much, Rotarians, for kindly considering my nomination, and thank you, Adrian, for your years of support, your many years of support. This award, focused on service, will always mean so very much to me. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. I'd now like to invite Rotarian Alex Handyside to come forward, along with our fourth nominee, Saeed Eldarahali.
Good evening, Rotarians, honorees, and all of our guests. When Saeed Eldarahali arrived in Nova Scotia in 1992 from the Middle East at age 11, he could not speak English, but he was determined to succeed. He started working at age 12 in a store, and that was followed by his first business, which included selling cotton candy and building computers. He joined the Canadian military at age 16 and served for 5 years as a way to give back to Canada for the opportunity given to his family to come here. He then obtained a BSc and an MBA from St. Mary's, where I met him, followed by a venture capital and commercialization experience at Innovacore. In 2009, he founded Simplycast, a unique technology platform company that can provide communication, engagement, marketing, and even emergency response capacity for companies. He continues to serve as its president and CEO. Saeed's 20-year career has also led to his involvement in an advisory capacity with Junior Achievement Nova Scotia, the Sobey School of Business at St. Mary's, and Entrepreneurs with Disabilities Network, as well as the Federal Innovation Roundtable. He's the past chair of Youth Retention and Immigration for the One Nova Scotia Coalition, and volunteered with the Immigration Association of Nova Scotia, the Black Business Initiative, Digital Nova Scotia, and many others. Saeed was recently appointed the chair of Workers' Compensation Board of Nova Scotia. Saeed is a respected, proven, and sought-after community leader. He's a strong and vocal advocate to end youth unemployment, improve access to education for the marginalized, and increase diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Saeed's many awards include recognition as a top 50 Atlantic Canadian CEO 2 years in a row, and the appointment to the Order of Nova Scotia in 2021. Simplycast was a recipient of the Lieutenant Governor's Diversity and Inclusion Employer Partnership Award. What others are saying about Saeed is worth noting. Those like Patrick Sullivan, the president of the Halifax Chamber of Commerce, who knows him well, as Saeed served on the board of directors for 4 years. He said, quote, "Just as the pandemic was hitting the world and businesses were forced to shut down and turn to online solutions, Saeed approached the chamber with a free offering so that our businesses could access free marketing, scheduling, and operations tools to help support their businesses through this difficult time. He worked with our team to offer his company's software to our members for free for a year. This meant his team met one-on-one with dozens of members to walk them through the software and give them the tips on how to make their lives easier. His generous offer likely kept some of our members in business, and his kindness won't be forgotten by us or the members he helped. I'm very pleased to present my friend Saeed Al-Darahali as a most worthy recipient of the Paul Harris Fellowship. Saeed. Put it on, put it on.
Thank you very much. Good evening. So I prepared a 2-minute speech, hopefully probably go a little over. So again, a good evening, invited guests, members of the Rotary Board and executives, fellow nominees, my family, friends, and everyone watching online from across the globe. Thank you for attending tonight. My name is Saeed Al-Darahali, and I'm a member of the Nova Scotia community and a proud Dartmouthian. I'm grateful to the Rotary and to those who nominated me, including my good friend Alex Sandyside, Patrick Sullivan, Don Mills, and Dr. Dodds. For this honor, I'm also proud to be in great company alongside 4 exceptional leaders, each being recognized for their community contributions. Congratulations. As many of you know, Paul Harris was a leader who believed in the power of community, connection, and collaboration. Community is the heart of every city and town, and it shapes our identity. For me, that's why community first starts in the home, with family, and I'm especially thankful for mine. To my parents, to my children, and my beautiful wife, thank you for the support you have provided me over the years. To the people of Nova Scotia, you have made me who I am today. I am so proud of our province and to be Canadian. This is the best and greatest country in the world. For tonight, I want to take a moment to share with you what I believe is my life mission, and I hope you will consider it yours as well. Our future will be defined by how we treat the future leaders of tomorrow, the next generation, the ones who will care for us when we are old, who will carry Nova Scotia's torch while standing for peace and progress on the world stage. Yes, I am talking about our youth and the importance of opportunity. Unemployment is ravishing the next generation, and the reason is not our economy, our government, nor youth themselves. They are no less prepared and no more entitled than the previous generation. They need a chance, and we need to hire them, train them, and sponsor them on their journey. They need it, and we need it. If we all put our hands together to support our youth, our province will prosper. I can tell you it works because I have seen it hundreds of times at Simplycast. Over the past 15 years, we have helped 400 youth stay in our province and get the experience they need. Let me share a short story with you. In 2015, I met a young man who was born, raised, and university educated in Nova Scotia. His family, who lived in Cape Breton, had a common last name. He had all the right things going for him, but couldn't find a job. So he went back to school to study at our fantastic college. Still, after 8 years of school, he continued to knock on closed doors. Our team took a chance on him and hired him for a 4-month internship. And 3 weeks after completing his SimplyCast internship, he was hired by an IT giant. Today, he owns a home in Nova Scotia. He has a happy family and is very successful. He did the work. We opened the door. Everyone on our team sees what happens when we welcome young talent through our doors. To date, we have helped more than 400 youth stay in Nova Scotia because we opened our minds to make space for talent. It gives them the experience and the confidence to take their next step, to be hired by other firms, to find their footings in their chosen industry. But to take their next step, they need us to take the first. Even if it's a 6-week or a 4-month internship, it is our duty to support the next generation. Thank you for listening, for this honor, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Alex and Saeed. Margaret, Marianne, Sharon, Saeed, thank you for being the community leaders that you are. And please know that you now have a home within the Rotary family. A great leader possesses a clear vision, is courageous, has integrity, honesty, humility, and a clear focus. Tonight, we are also honoring our most recent leader of the Rotary Club of Halifax Harbour. I'd now like to ask past President Adrian Malloy to come forward, and I call on Valerie Bobick, who is a member of our foundation committee and a driving force in our club, to do the honors.
Agreeing to serve as president of a Rotary Club is a huge and daunting task. Rotary prides itself on its ability to renew leadership every year. And with a constantly shifting landscape, the job is never the same any 2 years in a row. A presidential year is filled with team building, balancing a myriad of commitments and club demands, being responsive to Rotary leadership not only within the club and our district, but regionally and globally. Lots of drama, lots of problem solving, and most importantly, being of service, delivering the best of our club to the community and to the world. A Rotary Club is not a club for people to join. It's an invitation to working on endless opportunities, and presidents have to do exactly that. This evening, it is our distinct pleasure to honor past President Adrian Malloy, 2020-2021, who embraced the challenge and provided exceptional service, making Halifax Harbour Rotary the envy of Rotary clubs in the district. Oh, how I toyed with what I might say about my friend Adrian. Adrian helped guide our club through impressive growth and the merger of two well-established and historically vibrant and robust clubs within our community. Few presidents in Rotary would have navigated the difficulties inherent in a club merger, yet Adrian faced the task with positivity and determination, ever mindful that the merger would be wonderful. Adrian characteristically is uncomfortable with praise and acknowledgement, but it is important to point out that she is a woman of great strength, is always warm and inclusive, ever accommodating, fully collaborative to the point of exhaustion. It's like, hurry up, make a decision. Unfailingly considerate and represents, quite frankly, everything that is good in Rotary. With an incredible eye for detail, the uncanny ability to balance so many projects, and a finely tuned sense of what will actually work, Adrian is exceptional in her ability to motivate. Her self-deprecating sense of humor and the joy she obviously derives in working with people make her absolutely impossible to ignore. With the proverbial steady hand at the tiller, Adrian worked hard to ensure we met regularly throughout the pandemic. Pardon me. Our pandemic-plagued year in office. For many of us, Adrian provided our first exposure to Zoom, and we're so thankful for that. Her extraordinary generosity, exceptionally extraordinary generosity, and her unparalleled work in the realm of Rotary stand as an impressive testimony to her commitment to help create a better world. Thank you, Adrian, for your work in Rotary and for showing us how we can serve to change lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to receive this award. My professional life introduced me to the world of philanthropy and the good that it makes possible. There is a familiar quote attributed to Winston Churchill that sums it up for me. He said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." Rotary has afforded me so many opportunities to make a life by giving back. I am grateful for that and so very proud to be a member of the Rotary Club of Halifax Harbour. Thank you.
A world of peace and goodwill will come closer to reality today as Margaret, Marianne, Sharon, Saeed, and Adrian become Paul Harris Fellows. It is with great pleasure to present each of you with this recognition. Please accept our congratulations and sincere thanks for your commitment to our common goals of world understanding and peace. Everyone, please join me in giving them a final round of applause.
Thank you, Jillian, and thank you to all of those amazing stories that we heard. You know, I was listening to them and thinking, gee, these people are all like right here in this room right now, right? You hear these things about people and think, wow, this is pretty awesome to hear about people that have done these things. And then you think, they're all right here. How lucky and fortunate are we to have the privilege of being with people who have done such amazing things to help our community. You are indeed people of action. You heard Adrian say she's proud to be a member of Halifax Harbour. You too could also be a member of Halifax Harbour. Oh, sorry, it wasn't in the script, sorry. Off script again. Back to what I'm supposed to say. So we are coming to the end of the awards event, and I'm sure you'll agree that this is an inspiring group of individuals with a very diverse and wide array of vital services, truly people of action, whose contributions to our local and international communities should make us all proud. Few thank yous are in order to the Foundation Committee members, Jillian, who you heard this evening, Jane Spur, Valerie Bobick, Chris Hornberger, Stella Roy, and Adrian Malloy. Thank you for organizing this event. And our social media hosts, Tom Paul, Hank Van Leeuwen, and Brett O'Donnell. And I'd also like to thank Nick, who's been helping make sure that our streaming goes well. And then, of course, we have to thank our folks here at the Westin. A special thank you to our club member Glenn Bowie and his Westin team. I'm not sure where we'd be without everything that Glenn and his team are able to do for us over and over again every time we ask. And if you haven't been to the Seaport Social Bar and the restaurant in the lobby, it's a chance to check it out. And if you're looking to host an event or just have a getaway weekend, this is a great choice here at the Westin. So thanks again, Glenn. And also, I'd like to thank KKP Design and Printing Solutions for their significant support in discounting on the printing of the program and materials that you have on your table. We're very proud of that. And to all of our guests and members for attending this evening. Congratulations again to all of our Paul Harris Fellows. And I'd like to remind the honorees as well as the Burnell family to stay for the photography that will happen. And for everyone else, invite you to stay as long as you wish to mingle and chat, or if not, wish you a very safe trip home. Thank you again for being with us tonight.